Hello, and welcome to episode 147 of Design Curious Podcast. I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. Today on the podcast, we're talking about designing a career that supports your life. I want to help designers realize that they can and should build a business that aligns with the life that they want, and not just the one that industry tells them they should have. I want you guys to be able to define success on your own terms. So that means not having the hustle culture, burnout, 60-hour work weeks, because that's not a requirement of running a design business. What if the design career that you build is built around your values and your lifestyle? And what if it leads to better results than if you are just going in it without a plan? It's going to be better for you and your clients. So that's what we're going to talk about in the episode. I'm excited to talk about that with you today. It's going to be kicking off one in a series of 4 about mindset shifts for designers. And so this episode is definitely the first stop on this mindset shift. So let's get into it. You're now listening to Design Curious, a place where you, creative one, are here to learn about what it really is like to be an interior designer. And I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. If you're worried about how to succeed in a creative career, if you're ready to learn your next steps to become an interior designer, and if you want the satisfaction of doing something you love every day, you are in the right place. Grab a coffee, a notebook, and let's dig into today's episode. Okay, let's talk about designing the career that supports your life. First of all, I want to talk about the default path versus the designed path of your career. I would say most designers, and this included me for a while, fall into business without a plan and just take on whatever comes their way. They hang up their shingle, they're an interior designer. Someone reaches out and says, will you design my kitchen? Yes. Will you design my office? Yes. Will you design our church playroom? Yes. Is there anything wrong with it? Not necessarily, no. And maybe all of it brings you joy. But how much better is it to be intentional about where you want your career path to go? I'm really big on intentionality. Now, I wasn't early days. This is something I had to learn over time. But of course, the older I get, the more I realize how precious of a resource time is. It's so limited. And in the beginning, when you're starting a business, there are myths that a lot of people believe. So one of them is that you have to say yes to everything when you're new. More clients are better. And that you're going to have to work all hours of the day if you're an entrepreneur. Yes, it's hard to shut off your mind, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to work all hours of the day. I would say before you even get to that step, how great would it be to first design it as you would approach a project and say, this is where I want to end up. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this is what I imagine my career to be. Because this is the type of life I want to have. So it's going to depend on what you have going on. Of course, this will change and adjust year by year. But let's just say for now, you are starting out in your career. You're maybe younger and you have a plan to maybe someday raise a family. So you know that probably within the next 10 years, you might be adding to your family. And you're going to want to take time to be able to do that. So why not design your career now around something that would be sustainable later when you have all of those components added in? So for example, you can out of the gate start with a 9-to-5. It doesn't have to be Monday through Friday. It doesn't have to be 7 to midnight, 7 days a week, just because that's what's convenient for someone else. You chose the path of having a passion career because you want to be able to have satisfaction and fulfillment in your life. You're not going to get it if you don't set parameters and if you don't design it to be intentional. So that's my whole point here, is that you need to be intentional. You can design your business just like you design a room with clarity and purpose, and it can be something that's beautiful. That's going to be different for everyone. You'll need to sit down and see what it is that you want. Do you like working every day, or do you want to work 4 days or 3 days a week? For me, I have designed my career so that I can work from home 2 days a week. I don't really want to work from home any more than that. I think I like getting out and going down to my studio and having regular work hours where it's not mixed with someone coming to the door, or I need to move the laundry over, or something else when I'm working from home. So I love that I've designed it this way. So I have that separation, that I have days that are more focused on client meetings and going out and doing tasks, and other days where I'm just at home doing all of the admin or whatever needs to run in the background on those work from home days. And that brings me a lot of joy. I love that Mondays are a work from home day. So starting the week, I don't have to get up early and get ready and go in. I'm not necessarily a morning person. And so I love being gentle about going into my week. And I really don't mind working a full day on Friday. For me, that's fine. I think that affords a lot of opportunity for my clients who maybe find it easier to take off a Friday afternoon and meet with me. I've designed that for me because I love that. But it might be different for you. You might want to work from home on Mondays and Fridays and then be in the office the other days. Or maybe you are okay with working on the weekends, so you'll have other days off. But you definitely need days off. You need a balanced life, right? So let's create a plan from the beginning that is intentional and that is going to be a life that you love and that you are thriving in and excited about. Right? That's the whole reason why we're here, is that we need to take this time that we've been given and use our gifts to help other people. And you don't want to waste that time, and you don't want to be miserable while you're doing it. So let's then define exactly what you want to do. What are some non-negotiables? So maybe you have a family already and family time is really important. You want to have dinner with your kids, or you want to be at their soccer games. You want creative freedom to go take a class in pottery or something on Friday mornings, or go to yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is totally fine. You can have a non-traditional work day or work week, but it just needs to be something that aligns with you and your values. So what would that ideal week look like for you? I'm okay with a Monday through Friday 9 to 5. I find that setting those limitations are easy for me to enforce. And I love having the weekends. Right now I have kids in grade school, so it works great to have the weekends off. My husband also has the weekends off, so it's perfect that we can unplug and spend a lot of family time over the weekends. But maybe you have a different scenario that you need your days off to be in the middle of the week. How much do you want to work? So do you need to be working 40, 50 hours a week? Or are you good with 30? Are you good with 20? This is a great scenario to think about. When are you productive? Like if you're only productive in the mornings, then just work from 8 to noon every day, and that would be fine. You can still get a lot done because you're so productive. How much money do you need to make, and what's the lifestyle that you want? Knowing that you like to travel a lot, you need to fund that. So you can set a budget, annual budget of how much money you need to make so you can do all of those fun things, or buy a new house or a car or whatever needs to happen. There is going to be a number attached to it. Even if you want to build an empire, you'll have to do it in steps and phases. And so you need something specific to grasp onto, so you can have a goal to achieve and know when to scale up to the next level. But this is a great opportunity to dream and say, I do want to build an empire. I want to have a furniture line. I want to have a showroom. I want to have multiple studios in different cities around the country. No shame in that. You can do that, but you're going to have to take baby steps to get there, and then reverse engineer and see how much time do you need to spend on growing that empire, and how much is it just designing and meeting with your clients. So there's a lot that goes into that, but that's okay. You can sit down and design this. So let's talk about reverse engineering your business model. You want to match your services and the structure to your lifestyle goals. So maybe you want summers off so that you are taking on projects only at certain times, or starting projects only at certain times. So if they start in the fall, they finish in the spring, and then you can take off the summer. Maybe you need school-friendly hours like I talked about. You can lean on automation. You could still have the automation going in the background. Maybe people can be scheduling discovery calls with you in the hours from 3 to 5 when you don't need to be necessarily working, but that's automated in the background. So they still are being serviced. Their questions are being answered, but you're not necessarily the one that has to do it. So there needs to be a shift away from trading your time for money and build in value-based pricing, consultation tiers, or digital offers, and other services that have other streams of income. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you only want to work 20 hours in a week, that you only have 20 potential billable hours, and that's all of the income you're going to make. So that's where selling product and having digital product and other services that you can offer. So when you know what kind of life you want, your business becomes the tool to help you build it. Common mindset blocks to watch for: that there's going to be guilt of not doing it like other designers. You might be surrounded by designers who are bending over backwards and working all hours of the day and just running flat out to please their clients. You don't have to do that. And you might feel guilty for not doing that and having the same kind of business model, but don't. There could be fear about saying no or disappointing others, but people can deal with it. You have your boundaries, you have your limitations. You can set whatever work hours you want. And if they want to work with you, they will work within those hours. Maybe you have imposter syndrome when you're setting these boundaries. And you're like, who am I to say that I only work from 8 to 12, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's the only time I'm available to my client? It's your life. You get to say those things. We have to make sure we're not believing that money will only come from overworking. When you're very passionate about your job, it's going to come so easily to you. You're going to create something beautiful. Everybody's going to love it, and they're going to give you referrals of more people like that. Boundaries create excellence. Clarity invites trust, and rest fuels creativity. So you want to make sure you have time off for rest because you need to be creative. Your creativity is so valuable as an interior designer. So the things that maybe you could do if you're thinking, well, I don't currently have a life that I love or a career that I love, or maybe you are a designer and you're not happy with the way it's turning out. You don't seem to be enjoying it. Why don't you write down your top 3 lifestyle values, the things that are non-negotiables, sit down and sketch out your ideal weekly schedule, and then ask what needs to change in your business to support that. If you need help with that, of course, we can work on that in My Design Mentor. But this is definitely something where I recently was talking to my board of directors about the services that I offer, and I said the phrase, this is how I've designed my career so that I am doing the things that I like and I'm not having to do the things that I don't like. And I also mentioned, this is how I design my career and I design my life. Both of those go hand in hand, and we are designers, so we can do this. We just have to approach it as though it were a project, right? So bring that intentionality, sit down and design the career and life that you want, that you're going to love, and it's going to be worth that effort. A lot of us don't think about it because business seems like a whole different ball game than an actual design project, but you don't want to be in business without a plan. You don't want to be executing the project of your career without a design first, right? So I think it's all about perspective, and there can be so much enjoyment. And I have really enjoyed being able to design my career and my life so that they can coexist together really well. And I want that for you. So what do you think? Have you thought about designing your life and your career like you would a project? I know I never thought about it that way for a long time. So that's why I'm bringing it to you so you can maybe approach it differently from the get-go. And if you need more help with this kind of mindset work or anything else as you're starting your career in interior design, My Design Mentor, the program that I had, the online platform, is a great avenue for working on these things. It is like your first go at business coaching and career coaching. If you've never worked with a coach before, it's kind of like baby steps into it. It's a great starter coaching program for you. If you've never done it before, it's very affordable, and I think that a lot of people just get a lot out of it. And some people are in there for a few months, and some people are in there for over a year. Just whatever you need. So check it out. Links are in the show notes. I'd love to see you in there. That's all I have for you this week. Next week, we'll have another great episode. And until then, stay creative. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode, please leave a rating and a review. This helps me reach other curious creatives like you. If you have a topic request or would like to contact me, simply head over to my website, rwarddesign.com, or email me at podcast@rwarddesign.com.